Past members, delegates, executive board, distinguished guests, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 PASS National Convention. As we kick off this convention, we have expectations, anticipations, and for some of the new folks here, trepidation of the unknown. It's to be expected that we feel this way. This is because we want to leave this union better than we found it. We are here to build PASS into a great union and forge our future. We are here because we care. Not only for our union, but for the working families we represent daily. We care about assuring that good federal jobs are available for the next generation. We care about the safety of the national airspace system. And we care about stewarding this great organization that was built on the blood, sweat, tears, and arduous work of our predecessors, who indeed forged the future for us all. Leaders like Howard Johansson, Bud Long, Mark Schneider, Mike Rock, Mike Fanfalone, Bobby Mullins, so many countless others. Their green blood of PASS continues to pump through the veins of this union. As you saw in the video, Howard believes so much in his vision for this union that he quit his job with the FAA and twice mortgaged his home to keep the union afloat. He always believed in PASS. He was a man of vision and of prescience. But we're exceeding his expectations. And I tell you this not only because of the significance of it in our history, but since he was not a man of few words. And he loved this union so dearly, I am just a tad concerned Howard could walk through those doors and tell you all of this himself. And I think you would like that I said that to you. You also heard the voice of Mike Perrone on there. Mike, over here in the corner. Mike, our past national president. Thank you for being here, Mike. I tell a little story. Mike and I have a lot of ground under us, traveling the countryside in rental cars from place to place on roads that we didn't even know where we were half the time. And on one occasion, he and I and Chuck Siragusa from up in New Hampshire were traveling through Tennessee. And as you know, Mike has a thick northeastern accent along with Chuck. And as we were going through Tennessee, we stopped around a little gas station along the way. And somehow, some way, I said to those guys, let me do the talking here. I don't want you talking to these folks. And Mike, you were a good friend and a good companion on the road, and I appreciate all those days and times we spent together out there. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to another longtime leader, a now retired member of PASS, Bob Abbott. Where are you, Bob? Bob also still has the heart and desire to be here and support us. I'll tell you a little story about Bob as well. I spoke. Bob and I go way back to the 90s, back in the Oklahoma chapter, in 206, I think we were at the time. And I spoke at Bob's retirement. And for those of you that may not know Bob, Bob's a really nice guy. He just is. And I said at his retirement, must have been hard for you to be a union rep because you're such a nice guy. It's hard sometimes. This is a tough business, and sometimes you got to get in adversarial conversations. And the energy it must have took for him to be in that mode occasionally must have been incredible, because you are generally a nice guy. And I spent so many years working with you. Your empathy and desire to leave this union better than you found it was without bounds. And I want to say both to you and Mike, you guys did leave it better than you found it. Thank you for your efforts. And this convention extends that opportunity for us to all leave it better than we found it, to forge the future. As delegates and leaders, we accept the responsibility of setting the direction for our union for the next 2 years. There will be robust debate this week and disagreements. But for us to continue our growth into the great union we envision, that debate is crucial. This is the democratic process that assures our right of self-governance as a labor union. But we must be mindful that the decisions we make this week can have unintended consequences. Right, Riggsy? Yeah, I know, you know. Our Constitution is the governing document of this organization. Poorly vetted changes to it, changes made on the fly, despite the best of intentions, can result in mandates that cripple the union financially and kneecap us strategically. Let us strive this week to have vision and avoid pettiness that can slow our progress. We must also be mindful of what we leave for the future stewards of PASS. I've always felt that it was the professional privilege of my life to represent you as a regional vice president for 18 years. And it is now the honor for me to bear the standard for you as a national president. It's something for which I am forever grateful, and I want you to know here today that I am certain that this union is destined for even greater greatness. I'm certain of this because it has begun. I'm certain because I know that you all will never stop striving for excellence. Carefully and methodically, we've been rebuilding this union into a fighting machine that can not only withstand the threats of our adversaries, but has the vision to forge a thriving future for those PASS members yet to come. The time will soon be upon us when there will be more PASS members than non-PASS members in all of your workplaces. I want you to look around. I want you to look at each other and take it all in. Years from now, you will be able to say you were there at the crossroads when PASS forged the path to excellence. Let's talk about momentum. We have momentum. My high school physics teacher was so annoyed whenever anyone mentioned to him that a sports team had gained momentum during a game or throughout the season. Now, I will say, having been born and raised in Buffalo, New York, I can testify honestly that momentum was a rare occasion for us when I was in high school. And it isn't much better now. And in hindsight, I think that actually was the source of his aggravation rather than any scientific allegiance that he might have had. It was certainly a source of that, and it continues to be such for me. And Perone used to always bust my chops about the Patriots back then, but now it's turned around a little bit anyway. Yeah. So with apologies to Mr. Padazala, I will only reference the definition of momentum as the strength or force which is achieved by a series of events. PASS has momentum, plain and simple. What are these series of events that have spurred us on? Our efforts to engage the aviation community are building relationships and forging partnerships with allies who share our common interest in aviation safety and policy issues. For the first time, PASS was asked to testify in front of a full Senate committee on workforce issues, the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. Our all-time membership total is on track for a record within the month, as we have already wiped out the March Madness, and I must admit, the agency instituted that return to office policy. It didn't hurt those membership numbers one bit in recruitment. So thank you, Administrator. The PASS PAC is up over 50% in less than 14 months, and we will double the PAC by the end of this year. Thank you for all of you who are making contributions and getting folks to join the PASS PAC. That's what we need to make happen to have political power. We're utilizing new tactics for communicating with the bargaining units, the media, the agency, and Congress. We have momentum. Member engagement is increasing. The approximately 400 union reps we have trained in the past year through our new national training program continue to build membership and build solidarity. Internally, we're strengthening our ability to support the membership and work more efficiently by embracing new technologies and work tools. In December, we will begin the training of chapter leaders and committee members to ensure that the officers and members of the committees understand their roles and responsibilities for the positions for which they have volunteered. We will also have quarterly union training classes on Saturdays in Oklahoma City for members that are interested in spending a few hours learning how the union operates and how they can become past leaders and advocates. It will change things. We're beginning to hit on all cylinders, and people are noticing. We will not take PASS's proverbial foot off the gas pedal. The ability to engage members in our common causes, to bring new members into the fold, will be the foundation of our activism and power, and with your help building our momentum, that foundation will become rock solid. That foundation will be deep, it will be broad, and it will be unrelenting in the pursuit of our goal to become the great union that has always been our destiny. That is what momentum looks like. This national convention in Pittsburgh is our first opportunity in 4 years to conduct the union's business, how the union is governed, in person. You'll find opportunities to build solidarity among yourselves and later with your colleagues at work. You'll hear from government leaders and union advocates as they share their insights. The timing could not have come better for us in our history as we work through the painstaking process of negotiating 2 collective bargaining agreements simultaneously, slogging through the legislative minefield of FAA reauthorization. We must be also cognizant of the perils of another government shutdown because it is looming. As our membership continues to grow and our members become more active and more informed, they will be more energized and engaged when it becomes time to protest Congress for toying with your livelihoods, and they will respond to calls for action to stop the nonsense of political tomfoolery. Make no mistake, time for protest and activism will be thrust upon us again, and we must be ready. We will be ready. With your help and dedication, we will be successful. Our nation has gone through a reckoning over our shared history the past few years. And I want to turn for a moment to a piece of that history. In March of 1968, a few weeks before he was assassinated, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his All Labor Has Dignity speech in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King was in Memphis to support the sanitation workers who were on strike, protesting poor working conditions after the death of 2 of their own. The workers were members of AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. It's one of our sister unions here at the FAA. In his speech, Dr. King said to the striking workers and their supporters, and I quote, "You are demanding that this city respect the dignity of labor." He then said, "Whenever you are engaged in work that serves humanity, and it is for the building of humanity, it has dignity and it has worth. All labor has dignity." Embracing an individual's dignity is what we are asked to do as labor leaders, delegates, activists, and rank-and-file members. Not just within the concept of the union movement, but within each other. We are inherently endowed with dignity as human beings. We must not be led astray by divisions of hate and fear-mongering that any of us is worth less than another because of who we are, who we love, what we believe or feel or perceive or think. We must stand up against injustice and bullying and stand up for dignity and civility. It is about dignity. It is about standing up for those who need our support. And isn't that what a union is all about? Treating people with dignity and giving them a level playing field. As you consider your actions this week, consider the dignity of the people around you, the people you represent, and the people you don't even know who wish to be treated with dignity and given respect. Finally, you, all of you, are the faces of our union. Without your willingness to be here for our members, PASS could not function as an effective labor union. We depend on all of you to not only be the face of the union, but also the voice of our membership. You will leave here as ambassadors of PASS. As we build our power as a union with influence in the aviation community, we will need to do more. We will ask you to do more. But we will have the tools and resources to make that happen. We must be at the forefront of all issues aviation safety. That can only happen when the grassroots of our union, through your leadership as the faces of our union leaders, learn to stand together. As you go, so will our membership. As our membership grows under your leadership, so will their commitment to our causes and our solidarity. Our influence and power in the labor movement will follow. I want to thank you all for being here. Let us have a great convention, and let's forge the future in solidarity.